Okay, I'm going to show you here how to write formulas into a spreadsheet and what the exact formulas are. First of all, I want to total this column of times, okay? So I can put it here, or I'm going to put it actually down here so it's a little neater. So I could add this on my phone, 3 plus 5 plus 4.2 plus 90, or I could do it in my head. But in this assignment, you have to demonstrate that you can do this with a formula on the spreadsheet. So in this cell, I'm going to type this formula, equal sum, and it has to be these words, parenthesis, parenthesis. Then I'm going to place my cursor in the middle of the parentheses, and I can type this in, B2, B2, and then I can type in the next one, B3, etc., B4, etc., B5, done, and it will add it up for me. Or here's an even simpler way to do it. Instead of typing those in separately, I can just click my cursor here, drag it down to include all of those cells. I can click here, drag it down to include all of those cells, and then just hit enter, and it will also give me a total. Okay? Now, I can do the same thing in here. I can do equal sum, parenthesis, select all these, close parenthesis, total. And that was pretty nice. That gave me the total. But watch this trick. This is even neater. This formula is exactly the same as this formula, only here it applies to these cells, while this total applies to these cells. Well, the spreadsheet is pretty smart. If I grab this little handle on the bottom right and I drag it over, it's going to actually take this formula, copy it here, and instead of using these cells, it's now going to use these cells. So now when I double click on it, I realize, yes, it's actually the exact same formula, but applied correctly to those cells. So please make sure that your formulas look like these, because I want to get your totals by having you use the spreadsheet and its power. Now, this is even cooler. Over here, I'm going to do speed. Okay. Speed, as you probably know, is miles per hour. So distance divided by time, right, is my speed formula. I'm going to abbreviate that to just be D over T. Okay, distance divided by time. And let's see, I have to have units here too. So actually, I'm going to put in here the units that I measured in. I measured in meters, so mine is M, and for time I use seconds. Make sure that you use the units that you had. Okay, now this is tricky because I'm going to have to do some division in here as well. Well, not too tricky. I just use the same formula, equals sum, parenthesis, and I take this one, I click on it, and it puts the address here, divide. This one, I click on the other one, close parenthesis, done. Now that has just done the calculation for me. Now, I want to copy this calculation down here, right? So I just grab the handle, drag, 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 bam. It has now done all of these calculations. And let's double check. Let's pick this one. Sure enough, C5, it's distance divided by time. Fantastic. And now let's get a total. So watch. I'm just going to drag this over here and delete it from here because there's no information there. Double check. Sure enough, it's taking the total of all of those. Fantastic. Now, I have a total time, I have a total distance, I have a total speed. Total speed, of course, is not a very meaningful number. So I'm going to take my answer for total speed, and what I really want is I want to find the average speed, okay? So I'm going to put average speed in here. Now, why did, I have an equal up front, so it thinks that I'm typing a formula. So I have to do something like space, equal space, average speed. See if that works. That might work. See, the spreadsheet thinks I'm putting a formula in, and it says that's not a real formula, which of course it is not. Now, how do I get an average? Well, isn't an average you just take the total and then divide by how many you have? Yes, it is. So in here, I'm going to actually put my formula now. Equal Now this time it's not equal sum, it's equal average, parenthesis, and I'm going to, oh, well, actually I can do two things. I can just take all of those, and it's going to give me 0.49, and let's see if that really works. Let's try it again, equal average, and this time my average is going to be this number divided by 5, right? Because that's how many different ones I had. And these are slightly different numbers. So this is the one that I want to use. It's where I add them all up and I divide by 5. So this is the formula that I want to use, not the one that it put in there. Okay? So the formula we're using is we're gonna take the total speeds, we're gonna divide it by the number of speeds, and that's going to give us our average speed. All right? So now you have instructions for how to get totals and how to get averages. It's been 6 minutes on this video, but if you want maximum marks, one of the things to do to get a 4 is we want to have these all to the same precision. Okay? It's okay for this to have one more decimal place, but all these then should have no decimal places or one decimal place. So you choose. This is actually 3.0, so what you might want to do is just make that one 3.0, 3.0, make this one 90.0, so now they all have one decimal. That's great. Go over here, same thing, one decimal, that has a decimal, going to add a decimal there, and one decimal in my answer. That's fine. Let's put these all to same number. You can choose what precision you want. You can have 2 decimal places is fine, one more than the numbers that you're working with. This will have 2 decimals, and then this one should also have 2 decimals if that's going to be our convention. Okay, and there you go.